Well, glad you can join us for the Hero Hockey World League final match. It's a Pool B encounter between Netherlands and Argentina, and we are coming to you from the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi. It's a beautiful winter's afternoon. In fact, early evening here as we speak. It's coming up to about 4 p.m. and one wouldn't think that looking at the surroundings. Argentina in their familiar white and blue, and up against them the familiar orange of Netherlands as well. The world number 3 Netherlands up against the world number 11 Argentina. Should be quite an intriguing encounter in a pool which has already seen Australia grab the first blood with a 3-2 victory over Belgium. As always, the first course of action at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium will the national anthem of the two teams, beginning with the Netherlands. Yes, Netherlands making their way in this particular final of the Hero Hockey World League, thanks to a third-place finish in the semi-finals in Rotterdam in June 2013. And a month later, Argentina finishing runners-up. Outstanding performance by them in their own semi-finals, which were played in Johor Bahru, losing out 2-4 to Germany in the final and giving quite a good account of themselves. So lots to play for. Just the first game of 6 which are assured for each and every team here. Let's take a look at the two teams. Netherlands, the men to watch out for. Jaap Stockman in goal, very, very experienced player. And of course they've got that man, number 11, Jeroen Hertzberger, outstanding man moving forward. And in midfield, Robert van der Horst, their captain. And Mink van der Wieden, another player to watch out for, number 25 in defense. Number 30 rather, but also outstanding of penalty corners, which will be something that Paul van As will look from his team for. 53-year-old who's been head coach of the Netherlands since 2012. A look at the Argentinians. Gonzalo Peña, one man to watch out for. He was in action not too long ago right here at this national stadium. 4 goals and a red card in his Hero Hockey Junior World Cup campaign. But he's an outstanding player. Got goals in every match of their semi-final campaign in Johor Bahru. Also look out for the likes of Lucas Villa, Lucas Ray, number 8, the captain, as also Matthias Ray, number 22. Coached by Carlos Retegui, 44-year-old, 3-time Olympian, 1996, 2000 and 2004 for Argentina. A defender himself in his playing days, and that's the kind of discipline that he'll look to get to his team. Two umpires for today, Andrew Kennedy is actually celebrating his 39th birthday. So happy birthday, Andrew. And Gregory Utenhoff is the umpire at the other side from Belgium. So off we go. It is the Argentinians who've begun things. They are in their familiar white and blue. They're playing from right to left, and up against them in orange from left to right are the Netherlands. And the Vincent, and alongside me, another three-time Olympian, and the same Olympics at that, 96, 2000, 2004 for Great Britain, Simon Mason.
Afternoon, Divine. Thanks very much. Looking forward to this afternoon. I agree with you that I think Pitliak could well have a major influence on this game if his corners are as outstanding as they have been over the last 6 to 9 months. Could put the Argentinians in very good stead.
In fact, penalty corners already playing a significant role in the first game, the 3-2 victory for Australia, and an early penalty corner here. And it is for the Argentinians. So some early pressure for the Dutch.
Yes, Mazzilli, as he comes into the circle, picks the ball up. There's a danger that he obstructs and backs in. See here on the replay, and he stops. He's aware of the player behind him, pulls it between his feet, wins what's possibly a very soft penalty corner.
Agustin Mazzilli, 24 years of age. Nicknamed the Bird. And showing a lot of quality. There he is, Gonzalo Peña, 7 goals, 1 in each and every game in Johor Bahru. Can he keep up with that scoring rate? Also had a pretty useful outing, 3 penalty corner conversions in that Junior World Cup right here at the stadium just about a month ago. Injection's a good one, the slap is good too, and Peña puts his team in front.
Well, that's average goalkeeping from Stockman, I have to say. I mean, that seems to have gone either just inside his left heel, replay out, stop, fired low, got straight through his feet even. Not a great bit of goalkeeping. He'll be disappointed with that first start to this game.
Absolutely, we picked him out as one of the potential key players. In fact, both of them involved in that goal. The goal scorer as well as the goalkeeper. Stockman, by his usual lofty standards, that was poor. But Argentina, one thing's for sure, they won't be complaining. They find themselves 1 ahead as early as the 2nd minute. The key, though, will be to avoid errors at the other end. They need to be good defensively because Netherlands have some great firepower of their own, including of penalty corners. Could well boil down to a very, very fascinating battle between two teams with very strong penalty corner conversions.
I think the Dutch probably just shaded in terms of the individuals they've got available. Valtioli, awesome penalty corner hitter, but can deliver a raking slap as well. One of the players that we haven't mentioned yet who could have an influence with this is Billy Bakker. If he's on fire, then can create so many opportunities in that Dutch attacking circle.
It's Billy Bakker, the playmaker, earning his 84th cap for his nation today. Lots and lots of experience in this Netherlands team. As also some of the Argentinians, over 100 caps for a few of them. It must be mentioned, it's also the 50th cap for the man who got the goal, Gonzalo Peña. He could make it a remarkable one, a memorable one, his 50th cap for Argentina, the senior team.
Tracking back there from Hertzberger, having to take the overhead down. If he hadn't done so, then there was an Argentinian overlap down that right-hand side.
Skipper Van der Horst, surrounded by a couple of players from Argentina, put under pressure but still retaining possession. Here's Bakker.
What a lovely inside ball to Verga.
It's looking promising. The slap comes in and it's a pretty strong one too, and a penalty corner results. It was hit in with a lot of power by Hoffman, and Juan Vivaldi, while he pulled off a save.
It's Kemperman who lays the ball off in the first instance, actually. Hoffman gets his feet round really well. Clean connection, but not quite enough into the corners from his perspective. Goalkeeper able to get a big left mitt on it. It's played into his body. Bounces off into defender.
Just hitting the body of Matthias Ray, number 22, who will be also involved in looking to save this particular penalty corner. One of the men who's poised on the top is right at the right of picture, Mink van der Veerden. Outstanding penalty corner taker, the man who plays for the Oranje Sword in club hockey. It's Van der Weerden, and it's 1-1. Outstanding, right to the top left corner. Juan Vivaldi didn't have a chance.
Well, I think Van der Weerden picks this up from the top of the D, looks like he's going to the goalkeeper's right, and then opens his wrists and whips it to the left of the keeper. Vivaldi unable to read it or get anywhere near it.
Outstanding stuff. Just the kind of start one would have wanted in a game like this. And as we predicted, the penalty corners are proving to be quite decisive for both teams.
We have to give credit to the routines in both instances that led to the opportunity to shoot. In training, we've seen some of the training while we've been here getting ourselves prepared for this tournament, and the pitch can be a little bit bobbly in the circles, so the ability to inject it really completely straight and stop it dead gives that opportunity from the top of the circle.
So into the first 7 minutes, 2 goals already, 2 penalty corner conversions, successful ones from the 2 danger men, Gonzalo Peña for Argentina and Mink van der Weerden for the Netherlands.
Van der Weerden down the right-hand side playing himself into trouble. We've gone back to Joly much earlier, but in the end able to chuck a long overhead to Van As, who's led brilliantly back towards the ball. What a great layoff.
Yes, Netherlands hitting their straps now. This is that man again that Simon did talk about. Billy Bakker getting some support. But Netherlands just dictating the pace in the last few minutes. Once again, it's Bakker moving down the right. He's done well to get past one man, but eventually well defended by Matthias Ray.
Bakker signalling as he tried to play that ball into Jonker. He wanted Jonker to lead towards the pass, not stay static behind his defender. When you're in the circle as an attacker, you're just trying to hold the space and then pop late off the shoulder if you're being front marked onto a pass to the right position. Jonker had stayed behind his defender, so not able to connect the back ball.
This is Argentina. They haven't had a lot of possession in recent times. Can they make the most of this though? Few men moving forward, and that's an outstanding finish. That is absolutely incredible from Facundo Caglioni.
Caglioni, what a diving touch, but the ball in is exceptional. See here on that right-hand side, eyes up, smashed in under the arm, pulls the ball. The Caglioni's just got that extra metre behind the Dutch defender, in touch. Stockman, you can argue, might have been a little bit more aware and a bit more aggressive, but there's absolutely no way he could have known what was coming.
Was it a bird? Was it a plane? Or was it Superman? No, it wasn't. Facundo Caglioni. He puts Argentina once again in front. And inside the first 8 minutes, we've had 3 goals and 1 field goal just to spice up things.
It was such a great passing in the first instance. Whilst the defender, Bart, wasn't in the right position, I'm not sure he'd have been able to do anything about it if he had been, because the danger was he'd have touched it into his own net.
Retahui will be happy with the start for his team. That pass came in from Juan Martin Lopez, who's had an absolutely good first 10 minutes as well. Just down that right flank, putting in some great passes. But none better than the one which led to the goal for Caglioni.
It's a little unfortunate for Argentina in the first moment, because Ibarra had picked that. It was an awful choice of pass from Robert van der Horst from deep in his right-hand pocket through centre midfield.
Lars Vermeulen sending this ball, and it's not been trapped. Just a few moments of scrappiness from the Netherlands, not usual as it may.
It's not. You'd expect a higher level of basic skill. Hertzberger here that we can see in shot now, really putting pressure on the Argentinians, and that's going to lead to turnovers. So the Dutch can get the ball back pretty easily, but they are going to have to make the most of possession and make sure that their basic skills are as sharp as possible, because if they miss chances like the one that Jonker did just miss on the baseline, it is going to be frustrating, because the Argentinians have got talent.
Just the early moments, but already better possession for Argentina. Circle penetrations pretty much at par for both teams, as are the shots as well. But the most important stat for Argentina, those 2 shots have led to 2 goals, which is why they lead by 2 goals to 1. Perhaps a little bit to do with the format as well, Mace. I notice you and Mike also spoke about it, just touched upon it, the fact that in this World League you can conceivably even go on to win it, even if you lose all your 3 league games.
Yes, you can do, and therefore occasionally teams will experiment in this early stages just to make sure they've got the right balance, they achieve certain things. The coaches will set strategic objectives and evaluate performance off the back of those, and sometimes it does mean that you could see teams playing a little differently to what you would expect.
And of course, making any mistakes in the basics is a non-negotiable. That's something that the coaches will ram into them. Can never discount the Netherlands. They are a very good team. And with their backs to the wall, they can sometimes be even more dangerous.
It's an interesting call from umpire Utenhoff, saying that Sevi van Ast wasn't the requisite 5 metres, but I actually think he was 5 metres from when the ball went off the pitch, but the Argentinian player just rolled it 1.5 metres forwards as he started to take the sideline ball, which closed the distance down, so I'm not sure who's to blame in that instance.
Once again picked up by the Dutchman. What they will have to do is try and break down this very, very tight Argentinian defense. They're known for their defensive abilities, and in recent years, the performances have suggested that they have that ability to hold out against the top nations. Gave Germany a very, very good competitive game in the finals of the round 3, which was played in Johor Bahru in July. Eventually losing out 4-2. Nevertheless, giving a very good account of Argentinian hockey. Once again, moving forward.
Oh, no surprise the Argentinians struggled in that. The Germans were exceptional during that whole competition. Some of the passages of play that they put together show why they are as good as they're renowned to be. Some of the individual skill as well during that week was just superb to watch.
Another couple of great matches tonight. One of them will feature Germany. Germany will be up against New Zealand, the first match of Pool A. That will come to you at 6 p.m. local time, and then at 8 p.m. local time. Another very, very intriguing encounter. England against India. But at the moment, it's Netherlands looking to move forward, but Hoffman has been dispossessed. A long ball, more of a clearance, and that's why the apology coming in from the defender. Matthias Paredes, not usual to see him in a defensive position. Likes to move up front, but tells you that Argentina are at the moment quite happy to sit back on this lead and soak up the pressure.
That's a huge stick obstruction. Completely clear. Andrew Kennedy seeing that immediately as Polkamp, as he cuts right to left, just puts his stick over the wall. It goes right to left, stick over the ball, protecting it, meaning the Argentinian cannot make a tackle.
Made more dramatic when the stick goes flying every now and then. Leads to some very, very interesting pictures for sure, both for our cameramen as well as the still photographers. Reverse stick clearance attempted by Yoli. Particularly from the Dutch side, a lot of them have good experience of having played in the India League last year. So they'll be quite familiar with these conditions. Although having said that, that tournament was conducted in relatively more pleasant conditions. It's been quite cold this January. A few woolens around here.
Yeah, Divine, but I think what that means is that in the latter stages of this competition, talking of the woolens as we look on screen, the latter stages of this competition, it means the intensity won't be compromised by the heat that we sometimes experience when we come out here. It means that 5-6 games in 8 days is difficult for the players at the best of times, but now it's nice and cool, perfect, no breeze, really nice for them to put in some really high intensity performances.
Yes, and also easier to keep your cool in this kind of weather. It's all the way back. Netherlands still with that 1-goal deficit, which they need to get past to begin with. into just the first half of the second game of this 24-match tournament, and we've already seen 8 goals, so we're doing quite well on that count. It's a long ball. It's well received by Baka. Just couldn't quite control it. Did win a free hit, though. Yoli has been dispossessed. Just cannot retain control of it.
Unfortunately, Sander Devane had come back to cover Yoli. He tried to pull it right to left underneath his feet. Didn't quite get enough of a connection. And the forehand block that came up against him from Paredes meant that he was fortunate to get away with that.
Down the right, Oliver Polkamp. All the way through to Kemperman. Long ball, which has been well received. He's done well to keep this one in play. Van Dalen.
Andrew Kennedy having a quiet word as the two players got a little bit shoulder to shoulder. Kemperman's ball down the line was great in the first instance.
They've shown flashes of why they are such a high pedigree side, but they'll need to do more than that. More than just flashes at the moment. The Dutch came back very well with the equalizer in the first place, but since then Argentina have organized themselves into a little bit more of a threatening team. Still is a long time to be played in this match. 18 minutes in this half and another one after this. Patience will be the key for both teams. That's another superb pass. Well picked, the shot comes, but it just goes wide from Lucas Villa.
Well, I'd expect, you see the ball into the circle here, I'd expect Valter Yoli to be front marking there. Villa can otherwise Villa can pick it and turn as he did. Yoli has no chance of getting in the way of that shot.
Trailing only by 1 goal, but will be well advised not to have too many mistakes, especially in defense. Argentina have some of those very dangerous players moving forward. One of them was Lucas Villa, earning his 137th cap today for his country. Very experienced 27-year-old. Captain Lucas Ray goes all the way back to defense. Goes through harmlessly, no problems at all.
Well, Argentina seem to be playing a press where they're bringing in their left forward. Paredes is coming in to just try and keep the ball on the Dutch centre-back, left-back position and force them down one side. But what it means is there is a space and therefore they can transfer through midfield.
That's exactly what was being attempted there by Netherlands, but it's still fallen to Argentinian possession. Here they come once again. Just not had too many men moving forward to support.
That's brilliant skill to pick and carry the ball like that. Ning van der Veerden doing well just to actually keep tracking through the space.
However, quickly will have to track back because possession is with the Dutchmen, moving forward in good numbers. Well done to get into the D. The defense stands firm and it will be forced out for a long corner. Netherlands just upping the ante in recent times. They realize that if they can get that equalizer early here, then it will just put a little bit of pressure back on Argentina. Van der Veerden got that goal in the 5th minute, which now feels like it was ages ago. So much has happened already in this first half. No open opportunities, barring the one which fell for Polkamp early in this first half. That's what will be a little bit worrying for the Netherlands, but they have that quality to unlock this defense. Sander Devine does well to recover, still has possession, moving in. That's a great ball in. Oh, that's good defending, composed defending.
incredibly composed deep in the circle, but Sander Devine's original ball movement into the D was just exceptional. The speed he moved it from off his right foot to his left foot to drive into the D, just brilliant.
And once again, it's the Dutch who win a ball which falls loose in midfield. It's Kemperman this time around.
Mazzilli needs to be careful. Andrew Kennedy's allowed play to go on, but Mazzilli's sliding tackle, there was a big stick contact in the middle of the field. So many more of those, I think we'll see cards shown.
Sanderbart. A little bit lucky to get away with the ball. And in the end, conceding a free hit to the Argentinians. Netherlands once again with possession. That has definitely gone in their favor in recent times. 60-40 now. Also more circle penetrations, but when it comes to getting into goal-scoring positions, that's been much better for Argentina. Not much, actually. 3-2 only. But probably reflected in the scoreline. Clash of sticks, which leads to a free hit for the Dutchman.
Vermeulen was incredibly strong as he drove into circle, one-handed on the ball, because there was that stick contact. Nothing malicious about it, but Kennedy bringing it back so that the Dutch had that free hit. But immediately, look at the speed of the game, the ability of teams to transfer from defence to attack just in a moment, 2 or 3 seconds from end to end.
Gonzalo Peña, who got the first of 3 goals in this first half. He's capped off by an outstanding attempt by Kundo Caglioni.
And now we start to see a change of tactics from the Dutch. They're just holding at a half-court press on the halfway line, waiting for the ball to go to a specific point, and then they're starting to step out. If you step out too early, it creates spaces behind you if you full-court press incorrectly. So what they're doing is just holding that halfway line, allowing the Argentinians to come forward, condensing the space, and then stepping out when the time's right.
We will want that tactic to bear fruit as quickly as possible. Now this is another delightful run coming in. It's a good through ball too. Can he do enough to keep it in play? Yes, he can. Jonker. All the way back to Bakker. This is the captain, Van der Horst.
Super commitment from Hertzberger to keep the ball in play. It wasn't a great first touch, but had to dive full length. But it was all about Kemperman. He's on the ball again, driving through midfield to create space.
This time, the decision going against Van Aas. The Netherlands are definitely making a few positive movements, looking to exploit the flanks a lot, especially down the left. There have been a number of attacks coming in. So maybe, as Simon Mason did observe, perhaps a little bit of a deficiency there in the Argentinian defense down the right side.
Whichever side it is, what we can also hear is a lot more noise from our commentary position from the Dutch when they decide to press. There's a real call to step up from that whole front 3, and they're putting in midfield to create a front 4.
We need to defend this though. It's a delightful run coming in. Just couldn't take it to its conclusion, Mazzilli. Vermeulen. Dispossessed, Matthias Ray doing well.
Well, that's a tired-looking pass from Mazzilli. And a moment ago, that great forward run from him with the ball bobbling up his stick, he just was not able to turn and run back in defence. And we're only, what, 25 minutes into this first half. He'd be tired, but he shouldn't be showing any sort of real mental fatigue. There needs to be a turn and sprint from him, because otherwise the Dutch are going to be able to come down that right midfield flank too easily.
It's also noticeable, something that we also saw during the Junior World Cup. The Argentinians don't have as many rotations among their players as some of the European nations do. So that can sometimes lead to some of their players being on the pitch for quite long, doing a lot more work than they would. However, what matters is they still have that goal advantage in their favour. But for how long? That is the big question. This time Vermeulen was looking to slap it through, but it's been picked up by the Argentinians.
That's a poor choice of pass as well from Vermeulen, because as he brought the ball forwards, it was on exactly the same line for about 10 metres as he drove in. There was no pressure in front of him, but the entire Argentinian defence was set. And he kind of slapped as if to say, well, I've got no other options, I'll just try and crash this in. In fact, if he just rolled back out and gone to one of the other midfield channels, the angles would have changed and given the Dutch as a team an easier pass.
Last 10 minutes now, this ball has come in quite usefully. Oh, that's beautiful skills. Can he finish it off? Stockman does well, though. It's still a chance for Argentina. Can they find their way across to the ball? Some anxious moments for the Dutch defense. Still not over yet. Post is cleared now, and there's a chance for them to hit on the counter. It's 2 against 2. Moving forward, needs to retain possession. Is he going to look for a shot? Herzberger doing well. Back with the Dutch, but somehow the Argentinian defense scrambles through and gets the ball away.
I criticised Mazzilli a moment ago for looking tired, but it was him in that instance that had got back to pick up the ball as it was fed out the circle. But that's 3 clear chances, and Herzberger at that moment tried to peel onto his backhand. This is the Argentinian attack that we saw. What brilliant skill from Mazzilli here as he dinks the ball over. Stockman takes it down and then chases it to avoid a second phase.
As in terms of individual skills, some of the Argentinian players have really looked extremely good moving forward. Juan Martin Lopez has been quite impressive. This has been slapped through by the big mountain of a man, Ignacio Bergner, in defence. Had to be somewhere in the region of probably 6'4", 6'5". Imposing presence in the defence. Is that man again, Mazzilli. There he is on screen. Big man.
He is indeed, but still moving himself pretty well given his size. Sometimes you think back to a few of the international players. As an English player, Richard Mantell springs to mind, 6'3", big wide player, huge defensive reach, but sometimes when they're not quite physically conditioned well enough, they can look a little bit slow. So far he's managing to maintain his movement, his mobility, his positioning.
He's got a job on his hands because the Dutch attackers are slowly warming up to the task. The last few minutes they've looked quite threatening. In particular, Herzberger has had a very good first 28 minutes. As he does so often, such an experienced player. Plays for HC Rotterdam in club hockey and also regular face in the India League.
Hoffman's turn acceleration just dinks the ball for himself down the right-hand side. However, there wasn't a connection with Bakker. Bakker was going away from goal as Hoffman smashed the ball in towards the far post. Needs to just be a little bit more communication, but it's early on in the tournament for that. And whilst the players have been here training and conditioning for a while and will obviously train together all the time, the first tournament game is something completely different.
Moving forward, lining it up on his reverse. And going for the attempt while it presented himself. Just couldn't finish it off, Herzberger.
It's a real opportunist swing at the ball, isn't it, as he tries to get it away.
My apologies, that was actually Van Dalen, number 18, right alongside Herzberger. Just making things quite difficult for the Argentinian defense every now and then. They're the ones with the advantage in terms of the scoreline.
Well, there's some real uncertainty there in both sides because the umpires both blew at exactly the same time and signalled in opposite directions. They need to recognise that and just clarify their calls, otherwise somebody's going to be disadvantaged.
Well, this has been picked up quite usefully. It's Matthias Paredes who comes in. Stockman does a good job.
Well, Stockman made that look really, really easy. It was a great shooting opportunity from the head of the circle. Stockman's a pretty relaxed goalkeeper at the best of times, likes to stand around on his goal line. That's hit the post and come back.
Rather fortuitous, and it's a good thing that the own goal rule doesn't apply to any part of the equipment, because that could so easily have also hit the inside part of the goal. But Stockman, after an uncertain start, has made a couple of good saves.
He has. I mean, that's fired reasonably close to him, but he's had to get down to his left to create a barrier, big left-hand pad.
Also saw some outstanding goalkeeping in the first match of this game as well. George Baisley in particular was quite outstanding. So was Vincent Wanash from Belgium, just suggesting that this is the cream of the crop, the best players in the world, and that's why this Hero Hockey World League final is such an exciting event to watch. Quality all around the pitch, not so much on that long ball or the receiving of it, but closing stages of this first half. Argentina are reasonably pleased with the way the scoreline is poised, but would be a little concerned about the rhythm which is coming into the Netherlands ranks.
Yeah, the Netherlands are having more ball, but going back to what you said about goalkeepers, Tobias, I think that what stands the goalkeepers out when you get to this level is their composure. Stockman is just really cool. He's on his line. He knows what he needs to do. There's no flamboyance. There's no getting involved with the umpires or shouting and ranting from the edge of his circle. And a lot of the goalkeepers here, you will see that, and they just give a huge amount of composure to the defence in front of them. They know they're there, but they're able to just do their job calmly, get on with it, mop up anything that comes to them.
Will his opposite number Vivaldi be forced into something here in these closing stages of the first half? Once again, the Netherlands, Van der Werden. Divine. It's a pretty useful bit of work from Van Dalen, sending it back in. Bakker lining it up and not too far away.
Bakker signalling for the long corner because felt that there was a deflection, but actually just covering himself. We see here it takes a foot, good advantage from Kennedy. Reverse stick, he felt got a defensive touch, but no.
Yeah, I was doing it in the day as well, it's the same thing.
They've had their scraps, but they've come through, most of them, the Argentinian defenders. They're quite pleased with themselves if they can keep their advantage going into the halftime break. And Paul Parnas will have a few things to consider, not least of all the fact that Australia and Belgium are the other two teams in this pool. So if they do end up losing this match, then certainly from a position of finishing top of the group or among the top two in this pool, it will present a pretty difficult case for him. Long ball, no problems at all in defense. Sandebart, one of the most composed defenders in world hockey. Van der Werden has also had a good game in terms of his defensive abilities. Jonker. Yoli. Took a couple of touches along the way, and for a while the Argentinian defenders didn't quite know where that ball was.
No, they didn't. Yoli smashed it in. It's Caglioni who got a touch on it as it came through. In fact, if the Dutch had just let that ball bobble harmlessly over the baseline, could have picked up possession from the long corner spot, but in trying to take it, Van Asch just got that last little touch, meant it was a 16-yard instead. Now it's Vermeulen stepping through from midfield or deep midfield to create the forward line for the press. Showing real rotation, and a number of the teams, when you get to this level, have players who have so much versatility. They can play in any of the three lines, and teams quite often will just classify themselves when they start as having kind of a five-man back division and a five-man front, and rotation through all of the midfield positions.
I lot of versatility. Just a while ago, noticed Mazzilli getting a change of stick even as he was inside the park. Maybe just for these last 30 seconds, perhaps a stick of a little bit different weight with a different mission. This certainly will be the end of this first 35 minutes, and it's been an absorbing first 35 minutes. The first 8 minutes were absolutely off the hooks, as it were. Argentina going forward thanks to a penalty corner conversion from Gonzalo Peña. Slightly soft concession from this man, Jaap Stockman. But after that, it was a quick reply by the Netherlands. They got a penalty corner of their own, which was scored beautifully by Mink van der Woerden. And then at the moment, the team leading by 2-1 is Argentina, thanks to a fine finish from Facundo Caglioni, which led to the third goal inside the first 8 minutes. Since then, there hasn't been much joy for both teams. Although the Netherlands are just beginning to find their rhythm, and you can expect a little bit more from them in the second half. As things stand, after 35 minutes in this match, it's Netherlands 1, Argentina 2. 35 minutes have been played at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. And at the moment, Argentina leading by 2-1 against Netherlands in the second game of the Hero Hockey World League final. The game was very pacey to begin with. This was in the very second minute. Gonzalo Peña getting an attempt and swinging it through. And a rather soft concession of a goal from Jaap Stockman, one of the best goalkeepers as he's considered in the world, but allowing this one to nutmeg him. Just a little slow to get down. And almost immediately, inside 3 minutes, in fact, the reply coming in. Mink van der Weerden, once again showing why he's considered one of the best rag flick specialists. A lot of power, a lot of precision, and a lot of joy for his team. And hang on till you see this. Juan Martin Lopez sends this one in. And an absolutely spectacular finish from Facundo Caglioni, which did set Netherlands back. And from then on, they were always chasing the game. They've made a game attempt of it. But this was really the highlight of that first half, which was by and large quite even in most senses. Simon?
Well, statistically, the Dutch look at the possession, and at some point that has to pay. I know Argentina have made the most of their chances, but the Dutch have just continued to turn the screws. Possession is increased.
So what must Netherlands do to get back into this match? Who better to tell us that other than their coach, Paul van As?
Paul, can we just get your thoughts on Argentina? They came out hard and fast in that first half.
Yeah, very good. It wasn't quite a surprise because we knew that they would play with full heart, with all their heart, and technical, skillful guys. So they did well, and they did better than us, and that's what I hate. We started lousy, and now we pay the price, at least the first half. So let's hope we can restore it.
Okay, you're trailing 2-1 at half-time. What did you say to the guys in the change room at half-time?
That this is it. That this was our start, and this wasn't good. But let's be the first, but also the last time. And from now on, we have to play in a higher gear and show what we can. So that's basically what where we're going to. So hopefully you see it back on the pitch. I'm anxious to watch the second half.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Yes, definitely all to do in the second half, but mincing no words there, coach, and that's sometimes good to see. You always want somebody as an official who's not willing to at least speak a different language from what we would have inside the change rooms.
Exactly, there's a little bit of common sense from Paul van As. They didn't start well. They allowed the Argentinians to dictate some of the play, some of the pace, and in doing so they paid the penalty. But they've come back into it, and as long as the Dutch can start this second half with the same degree of aggression that they finished the first, then more chances will come to them. But Argentina have got some amazing individuals. We've mentioned him already, but Mazzilli has shown some exceptional skill, and Caglioni's finish was just brilliant. So if we're in a situation where the Dutch, particularly Walter steps forward too much and allows space behind him, there could be a problem.
Look, Simon, some support for England later on. That's going to be an exciting match. I can assure you there'll be a few more tricolours of the Indian variety.
There may well be, and the English have got the towels out on their benches very early on to make sure they've got a decent prime position for the last game of the day here.
Here come the Argentinians. Was just mentioning as we were going into the break that Agustin Mazzilli had a change in stick. Is that usual for a stick to be changed while a player is out there on the pitch?
All these players will have brought 2, if not 3 sticks that they can play with during the course of the week. You might find that there's a crack in it. A player will have a favourite stick and they'll use it until it dies. And in that case, they'll play, and at some point it has to break. It's normally in training, you have to say, but there could have been a stick impact early on in the game, which just breaks the carbon. The power starts to drop very, very quickly, and they want to change it over.
So an exciting second 35 minutes in prospect. Remember, it really went down to the wire between Australia and Belgium. Australia eventually running out 3-2 winners in what was an auspicious beginning to the Hero Hockey World League final right here in New Delhi. Just a quick reminder that you can also connect with us on social networking. Our Twitter handle is FIH_hockey, and you can tweet to us at with the hashtag HHWL. That's the one for Hero Hockey World League. Off we go. It's Netherlands who get things underway in the second half. In orange this time, defending their goal on the right, and up against them defending their goal on the left are Los Leones in white and blue Argentina. Arthur Yoli setting this ball up for his teammates. He's had a good first half and will be looking to build on that. Yet again, Sander Devine making quite a nuisance of himself moving forward.
He has a great overlap down the left-hand side. Billy Backer had popped out to set himself as a receiver. Sander Devine able to play the ball into him. And then Backer just trying to bring Kemperman into play. Kemperman going down the edge of the circle, just losing his footing slightly.
Indeed, this trio has been the one to watch out for. Devine, number 23, immediately passes it on to Backer, number 8, and then Kemperman, number 12, always there and thereabouts. And when they get the support of likes of Hetzberger and even Klaas Vermeulen, then it always poses a few questions for the Argentinian defense. Thus far, they've answered most of them quite correctly. Sitting on a bit of an elevation, the Argentinians. Not too sure how used they will be to these sorts of temperatures, although it does get quite cold in Argentina, but I'm not so sure if they play a lot of hockey during the winter months.
Neither am I. Up on the back of the bench, so they could actually see over the advertising hoardings that we've got around the pitch here. When they were sat down, they felt they didn't have a decent view, so that's why they were up on the back of the bench so they could see.
This free hit for Netherlands. Oh! Looking for a deflection, hit with a lot of power.
A huge amount of power from Ming van Verde. He came in, he slapped it and opened his wrist with some disguise. Billy Backer signalled that he'd seen the pass and was just there slightly late. The pace of the ball even catching him out.
Just a quick reminder about these two teams and their engagements. Tomorrow, Argentina will be taking on Belgium, and the second game from Pool B tomorrow should be a cracker. Netherlands against Australia. No matter where you are, what competition you're watching in world hockey, that's always a game that's full of a lot of spunk and fight.
And that's the beauty of this entire competition now that we're at the concluding round of this Hero Hockey World League. The 8 teams involved are all such high class. We'd expect to see each and every one of the matches to have some classic moments, but of course for the hockey enthusiasts, they know the pedigree that some of these teams just outstrips the others. You're right, that Dutch Australia clash will be fantastic.
And a great format because all 8 teams will be in action on all 6 match days. So something for every fan of every part of the world to look forward to. For the moment, the Dutch fans will be feeling a little bit happier about the way their team is performing, but they'll not rest easy till that second goal comes in for them, if that happens, that is.
And Kemperman very, very nearly finding Backer. Wasn't for good defensive lines at the top of the Argentinian circle. The ball was through because he had space.
This is the bird once again, Mazzali, as he is known as. Oh, that's turned in, and it wasn't too far away. Cagliani has, yes, he scored an outstanding goal once already.
How did he miss this? This is smashed in high. It's got a nasty bobble. 2 Netherlands defenders missing it, and Cagliani cannot believe all he had to do was touch it.
Once again, an outstanding ball from Lopez. It does seem that the two of them have an outstanding understanding.
I think tactically, if the Dutch were to find themselves to go another goal down in this game, whilst they've had a whole load of ball, it's not like they've troubled Vivaldi on regular occasions. They've had a few chances, but they're not converting all the possession into really meaningful, either a series of corners or a series of shots. And if they were to go another one down, I'm not sure at the moment they're playing well enough to be able to get 3 goals back to win it.
Yes, fair call that, because that early penalty corner attempt came in the 5th minute. They haven't had anything since then, which can be called substantial enough. Captain van der Horst beginning this attack from the back. Now this time a reverse hit attempted.
Yeah, and Kemperman was just trying to set that up so it was right on the edge of the D. I mean, the ball only just onto the white line.
Yet again, it was that man, Kemperman, slapping this one through, looking for Hetzberger inside the D.
Yeah, Kemperman's picked that onto his back foot. You can see his body weight just lean away. But the touch on the far side, that was going to go in. It just needed a little bit more aggression, a bit more assertiveness.
getting warmer at the moment, and Argentina will need to be composed in defense, not give away anything soft, which is exactly what they've done.
As an example of the great chat that we can hear. I'm not sure how well it comes over on the broadcast, but we can hear the umpires talking to each other all the time, helping each other out, because you get completely different lines of vision from those two umpires. So that chat, their experience, but sometimes it's things that you just can't see. You need a little reminder just to help you out.
As they are in constant touch with the video umpire for this match, the very experienced Murray Grime from Australia. And as you can see, just at the top of your screen, the two green dots, that indicates that both teams still have that referral intact. One video referral apiece, as long as it proves to be the right one, will stay alive right through this match. But we haven't had a situation yet when they have needed to go to the video umpire. That probably also indicates that there haven't been too many close goal mouth moments, especially since the first 10 minutes or so. Los Leones moving forward. Aguero with a good bustling run down the right. Some players of a lot of skill, as we indicated before, and that's been one of the reasons why Argentina have always been such tricky opponents at this level.
That's right, and it's their temperament that at times over the years has let them down, but it suggests from what we've seen so far, they've not got over-involved. You could argue that there'll be slightly less passion at this point of the tournament. It's not a win or bust type game. They'll be delighted with what they've done, but if we look how they're defending, they're happy to kind of sit back and congest.
So this time they will again need to be good in defense. Moving forward in good numbers were the Dutchmen, but dangerous ball.
Hertzberger, as he came forward to try and take the pass from the baseline, I think he just hits the toe of his stick and bounces up in the air. By Udenhoven right on top of that to know where the contact came from to raise it, so the danger given to the advantage of the Argentinians.
Still a lot of time left in this match, but Netherlands will need that second goal soon, especially if they have to think about winning this. Although having said that, you don't get late goals in this format all the time. But, just on the basis of what we've seen, as Simon Mason has also pointed out on a few occasions, they're just not looking as potent moving forward as they normally would. Once again given away to Argentinian possession. Lucas Rossi was looking for Mazzilli, but he was just a little slow to get onto this, and that's why it's fallen again for Dutch possession, who gave it away promptly.
Well, Hoffman there needed to pick a pass earlier. He'd done reasonably well to get the ball out of the midfield, but in doing so then cut back in, and just touch was so heavy to play the ball into his opponent's pass, allowing Argentina to get possession back, and suddenly they're up in the Dutch defensive zone.
Possession back with the Argentinians, leading by 2-1. Game 2 of this Hero Hockey World League, and Netherlands dominating in terms of possession. They'll probably also be ahead quite comfortably on circle penetrations, but even on shots, they've not done enough from those 6 shots to bother Juan Vivaldi.
Well, that's the issue. If you think of the players that we've mentioned in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and even in the first half, we didn't regularly mention the people like Seve van Ass and Hertzberger and Jonker, and they're the Dutch forwards. So what that shows is that that possession is not being translated into ball in dangerous positions for the Dutch, as opposed to the Argentinians, who've had far less ball, but we've been mentioning Mazzilli many times, Ray when he's had it, Villa, etc., and they're turning opportunities into real outcomes.
Certainly the outstanding effort out of those coming in from Taglioni. All of this, of course, geared towards the next World Cup. The Netherlands will be the hosts for that. And will be looking to add another to their 3 World Cup victories already. At the moment, they are on the attack. How they perform here will also have a bearing on where they wind up in terms of their group stages.
Thank you.
All the way back to Sander Devine. Really has worked very hard for his team and will be absolutely gutted if they can't find a second goal from all his efforts. Him as well as Kemperman, as well as Billy Bakker.
Well, the Dutch need someone like Balkestein to now drive forward with the ball to look for opportunities. I mean, that's just an absolute slap to nothing. Okay, I appreciate that there was a lack of balance from Sander Bart, but
here's Bakker, and he found himself in a good position. It was a good ball through from Vermeulen. The Argentinian defense has been good. They've always hosted him whenever he's gotten into dangerous positions. He's obviously been one of the players they've talked about in the meeting.
Yes, indeed, but you look at the number of blue and white shirts, it suggests that now that they've got this lead, they're prepared to defend pretty deep and make sure that their marking and defensive lines is absolutely spot on. They don't need to commit men forwards. They're in a really good position going towards this last 20 minutes.
This is another beautiful run coming in down the left from Lucas Villa. Not so long ago, of course, the Argentinians, a majority of these players, in fact, were members of the Junior Hockey World Cup winning team in 2005. So they have been playing together for a long, long time, right from age group competitions. Most of the players in their mid to late 20s, so reaching pretty much their peak in terms of their experience as well as their proficiency. And all of that can be brought to bear in a situation like this. 2-1 up against the Netherlands. Argentina, in terms of rankings, the lowest ranked among the 8 nations here. Just one below hosts India. But all that, as we often find in sport, counts for nothing on the night. And on the night, Argentina have been quite brave. The World Cup, of course, the next World Cup is in The Hague. That's from the 31st of May to the 15th of June. And a lot of good contenders, and some of them will see this as the best possible tune-up for that.
Indeed, a number of the coaches have spoken in the press on social media before this tournament about how they're using it as to get a marker of where their preparation is. They've brought, some of them have even brought bigger squads here so they can train together outside the games. So very much it will be the start of a process. Some teams haven't played outdoors for 2 or 3 months together competitively. So yeah, it'll be a really important next 7 or 8 days.
Argentina's intentions pretty clear. Even when they get possession in attacking positions, they're not really pressing forward. And could Netherlands make them pay for that? This is a great situation for them. It's a fine finish as well of the reverse stick. Semi Varnas. We were talking about that. Simon Mason was mentioning that we haven't seen enough of him in the second half in particular. But boy, what a way to make an impact.
Yeah, and Roger Hoffman, when this ball is threaded through, he cuts infield brilliantly to open up his shoulders to see where the pass is. That's a superb weighted ball. It's not a great bit of goalkeeping from Vivaldi, whose angles are all wrong. But even so, Van Aert has to finish on the backhand from a narrow angle and does it superbly.
And so much like the first match of today, everything to play for yet again. Back on level terms, 2-2.
Well, the pass from Hoffman was just class, because if you're going to attack on the counter-attack, you need to keep your momentum and your pace. So a pass has to just be inch perfect as it's laid through to allow the player coming onto it to pick it either on the forehand or the backhand where they want it. Van Aert was able to take his first touch. In doing so, it changed all of Vivaldi's angles, and it was superb how he was able to just cut in one-touch shot, goal.
And now suddenly all to do for Argentina in a sense. It is 2-2, but Netherlands with their tails up and still 20 minutes left in this match. Lots and lots of time to find not only a winner, but possibly a few more. Here comes Kemperman. Oh, that's been slipped through. A couple of pushes at the back, but all deemed to be fair. This time, stinging shot, not too far away from Hoffman.
Well, Hoffman hit that as hard as he possibly could. It's come off Vivaldi's left glove to go off the baseline, which gives away the long corner. Vivaldi called into action a second time as he polices the middle of his circle. But Hoffman literally got his eyes up and there was jackpot signs rolling around in his head.
Just the tonic they needed, perhaps, that second goal for themselves, Netherlands. The Black Sticks getting ready for what will be a fascinating match against Germany up next, but this was the previous attempt.
Yeah, that's a great touch actually from Vivaldi. I didn't give him enough credit because he was policing the middle of his goal. Hoffman hit it so hard. End of left-hand pad to touch it around the post.
No doubt, full credit. Even I was about to suggest that it was perhaps more of a case of the ball hitting his glove, but outstanding save from Vivaldi. Carrying on what has been a bit of a mixed night in terms of their performances, both goalkeepers with one soft goal apiece, but otherwise they've been right on the money with their skills. Speaking of skills, here come Netherlands once again, but this time unable to keep control of that. Bob de Vogt.
Odin hopes to try and get the ball in the right spot. It's interesting how if you let the ball be played laterally in the wrong position, just 1 metre can completely change the passing lines.
This time again he'll be disappointed. De Vogt had got possession, but now the Argentinian approach will be an interesting one. At 2-1 it seemed pretty apparent that they were happy to sit back, soak up the pressure. Remember, this is a format where you can afford to lose. You can afford to lose all three. But of course, when you come to the pitch, you do want to put your best foot forward. But now with 2-2, with Netherlands playing well, how will the South Americans respond?
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to just sit back as they were. They were happy to try and protect their lead. But now obviously one slip up means they get nothing out of this game, and they are far more effective when they do try and attack and they try and create forward chances. And the players that we really know and talk about are in their front division. They are the guys with the flair, and they'll either want to create goal-scoring shots through people like Villa, who when he plays well, the team plays well, or create more corners for Piat to step forward and do what he does so well.
Square at the moment, long ball, but and I say you won't get across to that. Last touch coming off a Dutch stick though, that's why possession with the Argentinians, but only momentarily. Back with the team in orange. Given away. Good pick up by Pedro Ibarra. Good run too. Looking to line it up on his reverse to pass it forward. This is Caglioni in a good position, and it is a penalty corner. Are the Dutchmen looking to perhaps refer this?
I wouldn't have thought so. Balkestein steps straight through the tackle, misses the ball completely, and the stick contact is obvious and clear.
Yes, no referral. Just a thought about it perhaps, but more in desperation.
The ball comes with lovely ball carrying position down the baseline. That ball out in front on the reverse means it can be played at any moment. Here, Balkestein steps through to try and deny the shot, and in doing so fouls.
So the time for the little big man to step up, Gonzalo Peña. Does seem like it will not be him at the moment. Shot comes in as well, and it's taken a deflection. It's another penalty corner.
Yeah, I think that's hit Balkestein. He was the man who gave it away, but he's the guy on the line. I think it's hit either his leg or his foot as it's going wide. That's why it's a corner and not a penalty stroke. That's hit his knee as it's going wide. I'm sure we'll get some guidance over social media about the fact that it's going wide and it hits you in the knee, why it's not dangerous as opposed to a shot on target.
Variation was worked there. Pedro Ibarra was the man who took that particular penalty corner, and yet again it is Ibarra alongside Bergner. Oh, this is well done. Ibarra puts his team back in front. Argentina pull ahead yet again, and in this game of tremendous seesawing fortunes, it's the Pan American champions who pull through again.
Well, it's another ball down to the goalkeeper's left. It's a much, much better flick. The Stockman could have extended and exploded, although it's gone through Balkestein's open stick. It's just got so much pace to it. It's a slider off the shaft of the stick into that bottom left-hand corner. Brilliantly delivered by Ibarra.
Well, they've done this 3 times now effectively in this match. Pulled ahead only to see Netherlands come back. Can they make it decisive this time around? Still 14 minutes left in this match.
Well, down beneath our counter position, Van Ass has come right to the edge of his area without actually stepping onto the turf itself. Not particularly animated, but he's changed his position.
Oh, this is looking threatening, but yet again Vivaldi comes out and just causes a little bit of confusion for Herzberger, who was advancing, also deemed as dangerous. So Netherlands have done all they can. They pulled one back, brought some momentum behind them, but Argentina yet again have pulled away, telling you about the depth of competition in this field that we've talked about. Ibarra putting his team ahead again.
Well, and are Argentina now going to go back to their deep defending that they were doing when they had the lead 5 minutes ago? They were happy to sit back and let the Dutch come to about 30 metres away from their goal. All 10 men between the ball and the goal line. If they do that again, though, they are inviting Dutch pressure, and it enabled the Dutch to really turn the screws and step forward. I wouldn't suggest it. I think they've got to do some legwork in the front line, as we're seeing now, to deny easy passes.
A little bit of more urgency about proceedings from the Dutchman. Not that it has been missing in the second half. That's been the pattern for most of this, but they have paid for those couple of unforced errors. They've given away those penalty corners, and once it was Gonzalo Peña, and the second time around it was Pedro Ibarra, making them pay in full for it.
Well, the corner's just been conceded. I mean, it's relatively easy to defend at the baseline if you get your body in the right place. So whilst the ball carrying position from Argentina was good, it certainly was an avoidable corner to give away.
They're looking to make something of their own, but the Argentinian defenders doing well.
That's super skill. Coming out from your own goal line, spinning on the spot to come out your own circle. Takes some confidence.
These men will be in action in just about 45 minutes from now, the Germans. The reigning Olympic champions. That'll be a fascinating duel too, because New Zealand in recent years have made some rapid strides. Like a very competitive outing, albeit it was their junior side in the Junior World Cup. The Germans, of course, going on to win that competition. And interestingly, not picking a single player from the squad which won the Junior World Cup, telling you about how much quality they have in their ranks.
Mazzilli, I thought, had overindulged in that bottom corner. Nearly had done, spinning on the spot and matching his compatriot who came out of defence.
Thank you.
Oh, this has been played beautifully, and it's an easy finish in the end for Guido Barreiros. And is it possibly game, set and match for Argentina? Just for a split second, it looked like the Netherlands defense had gone to sleep, and they've been made to pay in a big way by the Argentinians.
The first pass is exceptional. This spin pass is delightful. The ball underneath is then reasonably straightforward, and the finishes as well, because where is the Dutch defence? There are two Argentinians completely unmarked. Lopez, who's delivered the hit for the second goal, puts it on a plate for Barreiros.
Fantastic stuff from the Argentinians. So 11th goal, and we are still not done with the second match of the Hero Hockey World League final here in New Delhi. Promises a lot more excitement, a lot more entertainment. But I tell you, if when this game began, if somebody had said with 10 minutes to go, it would have been Argentina with a 4-2 advantage. Not many, perhaps even in the Argentinian camp, would have believed us.
No, not at all. This wasn't a prediction you'd have put in your book before the tournament started. Argentina certainly showing a degree of pedigree, although I do think it's more about individual skill than it is necessarily about structure.
Speaking of individual skills, there's Gaglioni. He's pulled this one through. A shot comes in. Gaglioni with the follow-up, not too far away. The initial save from Stockman was from a shot from that man moving forward, Mazzilli.
Yeah, we see the shot comes off Stockman, but he doesn't clear his lines. It's not easy for Gaglioni because it's on his left foot.
Imagine 5-2 at this stage would really have knocked the wind out of the sails for the Dutchman. As it stands, with 10 minutes still to go, they could still get 2 goals.
Oh, they could, but given the momentum of the game at this moment in time, it's what the Argentinians thrive off. Similarly, teams like the Spanish, that Latino temperament as they step forwards and get the momentum. Although it stereotypes them slightly, it is so true that when things are going well, they seem to get better.
And Mace, we made an observation, didn't we, in the closing stages of the first half, that they seem to be tiring, but in the second half, they have, it seems, conserved their energy rather well.
Well, I think that's the point. That's exactly the point. They've conserved their energy. They haven't pressed unless they needed to. They sat back and tried to protect their 2-1. They haven't chased the ball and tried to create 3-1. And in doing so, maybe it's just giving them a little bit more legs in these latter stages. And also the Dutch may well be sitting there going, well, you know what? Actually, guys, doesn't have a massive influence. Let's not over-exert ourselves. If it comes, it comes, but we're not going to chase a lost cause.
Last cause it was this time for Roger Hoffman. But both teams will take their lessons from this particular match. But Argentina at the moment are looking at a pretty convincing victory in the end. Didn't always look this rosy for them in this match, especially when Netherlands pulled back on a couple of occasions. Can they do it once again? For the first time, though, Argentina have a 2-goal cushion to work with. This is Vermeulen, and the other enemy for the Netherlands team right now is the clock, because it's ticking away, and it's a little under 8 minutes now. Pulled up once again. Had to be an important intervention, because Augustine Mazzilli was just behind Mink van der Werden. Some things to worry about here for Paul van As. I wonder what he'll make of the overall performance. He spoke at halftime quite candidly about how he allowed Argentina to get off the blocks quickly. From the look of things, Argentina are also going to finish well. Oh, he just had to pick that up, and that would have been quite dangerous.
Yeah, Mazzilli again leading high, creating opportunities. But going back to your question, Divine, I don't think Paul van As will be happy at all, because the Dutch just have not put the ball into dangerous positions consistently. They haven't got it into the wing spaces like where Sevi van As is right now, and then recycled it. They've lost the ball, it's come to nothing. They need to go from that space back into midfield, transfer through and attack a different line, and they haven't done that, which is unusual for them.
Argentina just showing that their performance in Johor Bahru was no flash in the pan. They are definitely one of the best improved sides, or rather one of the best improving sides in world hockey. Still a work in progress, I'm sure they'll all agree. There will be some celebrations at the end of these 70 minutes. It's been a very, very good performance, provided they can keep that 2-goal cushion and possibly even improve on it. The Dutch, one thing's for sure, they won't die wondering. Again, moving forward. Sevi van As, who got that second equalizer for his team.
I think there'll be other chances in this for both sides, I really do, because the Dutch will continue to press, but in doing so they may leave themselves some spaces behind, and if Gaglioni or a Mazzilli stays up high and the ball finds its way through, they're quite capable one-on-one with Stockman. At the same time, the Dutch throwing men forward, we may well find some corners, and Van der Werden can finish.
At the moment, they're defending in good numbers, pretty much all 11 men in their own side of the pitch. And this is some superb individual skills. yet again from that man, Kemperman. Eagerly awaiting rejoining the action. All those men there, 3 Argentinians and 1 Dutchman. But this time, danger averted by some good alert defending by Matthias Ray.
Buisson had deflected that nicely into the middle of the Argentinian circle. Defenders low, ball ending up on their sticks, and it just shows the awareness of the passage of play in front of you. If you're too upright, if you're not concentrating, that's when the ball hits your foot rather than your stick. If you haven't got your left hand right down on the ground.
Sevefanas is quite easily dispossessed. This is Matsili. He's had an outstanding game for his team, really. And look at him go once again.
Oh yes, and you think Ming van der Veer is going to get a card there, because as he's put his left hand down, he's just dropped his shoulder through the tackle to deny the channel from Matsili.
That's the other thing. The discipline from both teams has been quite outstanding. If I'm not mistaken, that is the first card of this match. Certainly the first in the second half. But yet again, Argentina moving forward. Superb individual skills, and yet another penalty corner. Great work from Lucas Villa. And do the Dutch want to refer this? They do.
I think both umpires perceived that that reverse stick had come up off the Dutch defender's stick into his own body.
From the Argentine player. Okay. Hey, Murray, can you hear me? Andrew? I've given a corner for hitting the Dutch body off the stick. The Dutch are saying it came up off the Argentinian stick. Okay, well, have a look. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly in real time from our commentary position, I felt exactly the same as the umpires, is that the reverse stick gets hit flat and it comes up off a Dutch stick into a body. However, it actually appears from that first slow-mo that there's a Dutch touch there, and then it comes up off the Argentinian. I wouldn't be surprised to see this overturned. The entire Dutch team have walked out of their defensive goal as if they're sure. As the ball comes across the top of the circle, this reaching tackle from Sander de Baart, touch, then it comes up the Argentinian stick.
Yeah, 2 seconds, Andrew. Hello, yeah. Andrew, I reckon it come up onto the Dutch stick. So say your decision. Say with my decision, a penalty corner, yeah? Yes. Okay, fine.
An interesting one there. So no reprieve. It's almost like a reverse birthday present, because the birthday boy has just given Argentina another chance to pull ahead with their 5th.
Well, he has, and sometimes the video umpires have a different set of angles to the ones that we have on our screens that we can look at. I have to say, I felt that the tackle came in and it bobbled. It came in and it came off the stick. There was a Dutch touch first and then up off the Argentinian, so I think that should have been a turnover, but still.
Well, this is a chance to pull ahead 5-2 and put this seriously out of doubt as a contest. Big man Berger is one of those who's poised to go for it. Eventually it's Ibarra, pointed to the spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's hit the lineman. I thought that Stockman had got his left foot out to that, but that appears to have drilled the left foot of the lineman. That looks very, very painful. It's Kemperman who's gone down. The penalty corner comes out, stopped beautifully. Again, it's another slider to Stockman's left. That's hit stick and then foot of Kemperman. He's deflected it onto his own right, or knee and then foot. He's gone down, but it's definitely going to be going into the goal, which is why the penalty stroke's been given.
Well, Netherlands, of course, have lost their referral, so there won't be too much of point in these recriminations.
Yeah, and it'll be very, very difficult without a slow-mo replay with sort of all sorts of graphics on the screen to see whether that ball was going outside the left post in the first instance, but it's deflected down off Kemperman's knee onto his foot, which prevents it going in the goal, which is why Andy Kennedy's given the penalty stroke.
Chance for Ibarra to score a second of the night and a fifth for Argentina. He converts. Stockman gets that right, but it was a very, very comfortable finish in the end for Pedro Ibarra. Argentina taking this one away, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there's so much pace on that, it goes in. Stockman goes the right way, but can't get enough on it to make the save.
His second goal of the night. One from a penalty corner, one from a penalty stroke, and that has meant that Argentina have a huge advantage now. Not only is it a resounding victory which stares them in the face, but it's also a very good, healthy boost to their goal difference.
Yeah, it is indeed, and if it comes down to that, beating the Dutch by 3 goals is exceptional in anybody's book. Really, really good.
This doesn't happen often in hockey, whether men's or women's or juniors or indoor. Not so sure about ice hockey though.
Absolutely no idea for either of those teams in ice hockey, Divine. Not a clue, couldn't comment. But their field hockey team have certainly done them proud in this single game, and we will see if their form continues through the course of this tournament. If they do, it will be a surprise to some. However, their individuals today have been exceptional at times. Oh, and that would have been a brilliant pass. You could see him tee it up as he drove down the right-hand side. It wasn't to be from Lopez, who's given some amazing balls all around the pitch today.
Yeah, some great individual performances, as Simon did indicate, which could come through from the Argentinians. Right up front, the likes of Mazzilli and Caglioni have been outstanding. Lucas Villa, every time he's made himself available, has looked quite threatening. Again, Mazzilli putting pressure on the man in defense, Oliver Paulkamp. And Martin Lopez down the right has been quite exceptional with some of his long balls. And even the defending in this parts of the second half has been quite exceptional. And who can forget Juan Vivaldi at one stage when they were really under pressure, pulling off a few outstanding saves. It's a good team performance, again exemplified by that pickup from Caglioni.
Well, the Dutch appear to have lost a degree of interest. I know that they've lost this game, but their defensive shape, the forwards aren't chasing back particularly well and giving the Argentinians a little bit too much space and time through the midfield. And the game is effectively over. Obviously, we may see one more chance at either end, but the result is not in doubt.
Yes, the last 60 seconds, the last 45 now. And they find a consolation goal though. Mink van der Weerden, the man who started it all, puts this one in. He was looking for De Vogt.
Well, that sums it up, doesn't it? Because the ball in from Mink van der Weerden was great on the reverse stick, just a little loop ball. Bob De Vogt, faced with a very, very easy pickup in the circle, manages to give too heavy a first touch and can't manufacture a shot. And that just sums up the outcomes that the Dutch have had this afternoon.
Possession with Argentina, exactly where they would want this. They'll be celebrating soon. Carlos Retejui's team have served an early marker of not only their ability, but also their commitment levels, which have been in ample evidence in the 70 minutes on the opening day of the Hero Hockey World League Finals at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. Outstanding performance from their team, showed a lot of tenacity, made sure that they pulled away from their opponents, even in spite of a couple of good fightbacks from the Dutchman. Goals on the night for Gonzalo Peña, an outstanding finish for Facundo Caglioni, and then a couple of conversions, one from penalty corner and one from the penalty spot from Pedro Ibarra, sandwiching a goal from Guido Barreiros, which have led to this outstanding performance for the Argentinians. The Netherlands, not much joy for them. Mink van der Weerden with 1 goal, and then a second equalizer which came in from Seve van As. But apart from that, it's been a good day in the office for the Argentinians, not quite so for Netherlands. It's finished 2 Netherlands and 5 for Argentina. Really good performance from them. And tells you that this Hero Hockey World League, well, we cannot take any situation for granted. Any team can beat the other one on a given day.
They can indeed, and the Argentinians were superb at times. Their individual skill was exceptional. They delivered really when it counted. Goalkeeper making exceptional saves when it was needed to, and some goals coming at times out of nothing. And the Dutch just unable to make a whole load of possession count in a meaningful way consistently throughout that 70 minutes.
Well, this is what happened in the second half. The second 35 minutes started quite brightly for the Dutchmen, and this was, of course, the goal in the 49th minute. Very well finished off, but slightly slack goalkeeping.
Hoffman, great pass. Seve van Ask faced with an easy angle to finish from because Vivaldi comes out far too quickly. He had to anticipate where that ball was going to go.
And we talked about Netherlands needing to be good in defense, but there were a couple of errors which led to 2 penalty corners, the second one converted by Ibarra.
Yeah, flicked in really easily through that left-hand channel. Balkstein I criticised, but actually wasn't bad. But this was just brilliant. It was Mazzilli who was exceptional. Lopez delivering another pass that sets up a goal. But their spin and touch was just brilliant. And the finish, pretty straightforward in the end.
And right towards the end, this was the penalty stroke which was awarded, because that one was heading straight towards goal before it hit Kemperman. And an easy put away for Ibarra. By that time, Stockman, even though he did guess right, they had already given up the ghost quite frankly. So the Argentinian supporters also with something to laugh about today. This 5-2 victory, setting up beautifully for this Pool B for the Argentinians. Great result for the South Americans. So Argentina running out 5-2 winners, and there will be a few contenders, I'm sure, for the hero man of the match. Let's find out who it is, because Michael Absalom is waiting for us.
Thanks very much then. Welcome along to the Hero Man of the Match presentation. I'm delighted to be joined by Coco Budejski, the FIH rep and president of the Pan American Hockey Federation, and today's Man of the Match, who is Augustine Mazzilli. Congratulations, Augustine. 25,000 rupees and this wonderful trophy, the Man of the Match trophy, presented to you there by Coco. And there are your 25,000 rupees. Spend them wisely. And can we get your reaction to that match? What an exciting game, and what a shock win for you guys, but well deserved.
It's a very great result. I think for the first game against Holland is gorgeous. We will try to keep doing the same things. And I don't know, we get great results in the next games.
Still a long way to go, but what will the reaction be back home to that result?
Early in the morning, the game, so 7:30 in the morning, I think people will watch this game. Probably they are going to be very happy as us with this result.
Well, congratulations in this game and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
They're certainly going to be enjoying this result back home in Argentina.
That's for sure. A big scalp on the opening day. The Netherlands, nonetheless, world number 3, have been knocked off their perch thanks to an outstanding performance, reflected in the numbers.
Well, it was reflected in the numbers except for the possession. The Netherlands dominated that game in terms of how much ball they had, but were able to do absolutely nothing with it in terms of goals. 21 circle penetrations to only 9 shots, where Argentina somehow from 11 circle penetrations managed 14 shots. And that's why they converted more of their chances into goals and were runaway winners in the end.
Good clean game, just 1 card in that, and that fell to Mink van der Woerden of the Netherlands. So that has concluded the second game of the day. The first one saw, of course, Australia beating Belgium 3-2. And later on tonight at 8 p.m, it's going to be England against India. But at 6 p.m, which is just about 25 minutes or so from now, it's going to be Germany against New Zealand, the first game of Pool A in what has already been an outstanding first day of competition in the Hero World League Finals. So join us for that. That is going to be an absolute cracker, just as this one was. See you soon. barring little bits of Rupert, can't hear him much. It's basically an audible